If you love running and coffee, stop scrolling. If you run, you're probably familiar with the fact that you should stay hydrated. Being dehydrated often is associated with decreases in performance and increases in perceived effort. Now, the performance benefits of using caffeine are well documented. We know that people will run faster and farther if they utilize caffeine in some way, shape, or form. But does this come at a risk of dehydrating yourself? And the answer, like most things in life, is maybe. So this 2020 review basically goes over all things caffeine. But there's two sections in it that hold particular significance to us runners. One is, does using caffeine dehydrate us? The other is, does using caffeine during exercise dehydrate us? So the authors of this review conclude that if we stay somewhere between 300 and 500 milligrams of caffeine in any one bout, we're probably not going to be dehydrating ourselves beyond an acute amount of diuresis, meaning that we're probably going to pee a little bit more. But if we are hydrating ourselves while we're exercising, we're probably pretty safe. Also, one thing to be mindful of is that the half-life of caffeine is between 5 and 6 hours. And so if you wake up and you have a coffee, and then 5 or 6 hours later you have another, basically there's not going to be a buildup of that caffeine in your system anymore. And you'll probably be just fine if for some reason you're exercising later in the afternoon. It's not going to cause this chronic dehydration that we kind of have been told will happen if we consume lots of caffeine. So the next question that we need to address is, does using caffeine during exercise cause dehydration? And the authors once again found that low to moderate usage, which is 3 to 6 milligrams per kilogram of body weight, which for me is somewhere between 250 and 500 milligrams of caffeine, so quite a bit. Using those numbers does not seem to change anything with your urine volume, the color, the osmolality, the sodium levels. And so they found no difference in basically the indicators of hydration level, especially over a 24-hour period. And so we'll use the author's own words here to kind of sum it up. The outcomes indicate caffeinated beverages do not negatively impact fluid retention following exercise. There you go. So as long as we continue to rehydrate ourselves during and after exercise, it's unlikely that caffeine is actually playing a role in dehydration if we are experiencing that. Now, this isn't to say that go drink all the coffee you want or energy drinks and expect that you're going to be okay. No, we're talking about low to moderate usage here. It seems like about a 16-ounce cup of coffee, maybe a 20-ounce cup of coffee once, or maybe even a little bit later on in the day if you're going to have a second one, and then some caffeine during your exercise, which can help enhance performance, but also doesn't typically lead to overall hydration levels or influence those overall hydration levels in the long run.